Hello everyone. In this video, I will walk through a basic but secure Cisco router configuration and explain exactly what each command does and why it is important in the configuration. In this channel, I will try to post similar videos, labs going forward. Let's go ahead and get started. This one, lab one, is router security requirements. It has 5 steps, 5 parts, and it tells us what we need to do at each step. Let's go ahead and get started. Before we start, let's rename the router here. Because that's going to be the name, the host name eventually. That's why I named it Core R. You can name it whatever you want. We go to the CLI. Then the first thing you would see is that it will ask you if you want to enter into initial configuration dialog mode. We don't need to. There are times where we could do that. We could say yes and try to do the initial configuration from here. But here, there's no need to do that. You see this when you first get into the router or a switch. Says to press return, or which is enter, then it will take you to this page where it says router. From here, right now we are not in the router. We have to get into privileged exec mode. To do that, we just type enable. We can type the full enable, or we could just type en and it will do the same thing. But now, when you are in privileged exec mode, you will see this hash sign instead of this arrow. Now, here we can't do any configuration. In order to do configuration, we have to enter into global configuration mode. To enter into that, we type, the command we use is config terminal, config T short. And now that we are here, we can start working. The first thing is change the host name to Core R. The way we change the host name is by using the commands. There are certain commands that we can run from the global configuration mode. If you do question mark, it will tell you all the commands that you can run. And from here, you can use username and key IP. These are some of them, host name and banner access. And it tells you what each one does on the side. For us, what we are asked is to change the host name. So we will use the host name command. Host name would be core R. Now you see it changed from router to core R. So we're good. Then we have, it tells us to disable DNS lookup. DNS lookup, disabling DNS lookup helps the system from trying to understand or interpret mistyped commands. Without this, the router, if we don't disable DNS lookup, the router will pause while trying to resolve any gibberish that you give it, and it will take bandwidth, and also it will kill your time. So I'll show you another time what it looks like, but for now, I'll just do the configuration. Actually, let me show you. Exit. Exit. we said we can enter with en, right? Instead of doing that, let me just type this. This shouldn't make sense, but the system will try to resolve this and try to understand, make sense of this, and it will take time for that. We'll see how long it will. See, then it says translating this domain server, and this is broadcast. It's trying to understand what this could mean. And if I press anything, it will not work. Now we're paused. We have to wait until this is done. So this is why disabling DNS lookup is very important, because it is inevitable that you will mistype commands. And if you mistype commands, you don't want to be stuck for minutes, for a couple of, like 2-3 minutes doing nothing. You want to be able for the system to recognize that this is gibberish and just skip through it. Now you see, it's just finished trying to resolve it, and finally it gave up now. So this is what we are trying to avoid. Let's get into the configuration mode, global configuration mode, conft no IP domain lookup. This will disable DNS lookup. Now, exit. Let's try the same thing. You see, unknown command, computer name, or unable to find computer address. It's done. It's not going to wait. It's not going to try to understand the gibberish. So now we have succeeded with this. Let's go to the next one. We are asked to configure secure enable secret with the password we use being this one. Basically, we are configuring a password to enter into the privileged exec mode. And the way we do that is enable secret then the secret would be strong. Enable secret is the better option. We could do enable password, password, but it would be unencrypted. But this would be saved in the running config as encrypted. So later on, I will show you what it looks like. Then it says to encrypt all plain text passwords. Technically, if we use enable secret, we don't need to for this one, but it will help us for the next passwords that we'll set. So to make sure everything is encrypted in the running configuration information, we're gonna configure we're gonna make sure all plain text passwords are encrypted. The way we would do that is service password encryption. Now, any password I type from this point on will be encrypted, or any password that I have typed in this device will be encrypted. The next step 2. Now we are on step 2. Step 2 is secure console access. This is the console port is connected through a console cable, and using our laptop, we can use PuTTY to get into the device, the router or the switch, and do the same configuration that we are doing here on the computer. But we want to make sure that even if you have access to the physical connection of the console, we want to make sure that if you don't have the password, if you cannot authenticate you are the authorized user, you won't be able to do any configuration. So that is what securing console access means. To do that, we would use the command line console here. Then we set password for the console access. To set a password, to know the commands that you can run, you can just do question mark like we did earlier, and you will see all the commands that you could use here as well. But to set a password is password. Let's use Cisco. The password would be Cisco, and login is required. So to make sure that this password is required to tell the device, we say login, and it says enable logging synchronization. This prevents system message from interrupting commands being typed at the console. While you're typing, you don't want system message to pop up and interrupt the command that you are writing. So to do that is logging thing. Then we are also told to configure exec timeout 5 minutes, and the command for that is exec timeout. So this makes it that the exec timeout being 5 minutes makes it that the system will automatically log out the idle console session after 5 minutes for security. Okay, now we are on step 3, secure V2I. This is for remote access. We can SSH so that we can SSH or telnet into this router from remote without being physically connected to it. And for the V2I is that. The first thing it tells us is to configure local user database. Username is admin, the secret password is whatever you choose. To create a user is username would be admin. Password, we could use password or secret, but password, let's use the same thing let's use a different one. For this one, let's use net pro. This would be the password, our password. This account will be used for remote access, which is in our case for SSH to SSH or telnet. into this. Now we have done this. The next is we have to configure the VTY lines. To do that, we use line VTY, then which line we are configuring, 0 to 4 is what we are configuring. And we are told that to use local authentication, and the command to use local authentication is login login okay login local, and we only want SSH, so transport would be input would be SSH, transport output would be SSH. Then we also this automatically disables telnet. We can only use SSH. Then what we will do is also set the 5-minute exec timeout. Let's see. Okay. Now we have set the VTY. We have configured our VTY lines. Then the next is step 4, configure SSH. First, we have to create set domain name. And for that is IP domain would be domain name, whatever domain name we want. In our case, it would be, we would name it net lab.local. Okay. Then the generate RSA key, minimum of 1024 bits. In order to do that, we will say crypto key generate RSA. Okay. Oh, I mistyped right there. Key. We want 1024. It's minimum. It's generating. Portable. Okay. Okay. And it tells us what version of SSH has been enabled. But we have to ensure that SSH version 2 is enabled. We could, just to be sure, we could configure that. IP SSH version 2. Now we're done with step 4. Step 5 is to configure a security banner. That is a pop-up that has a text message warning that this device is for authorized users only. If you're not authorized, you shouldn't be there, basically. And the way we do that is banner MOTD. Then we will use any sign that we want. I'm going to use hash, then enter. Now it will let me enter the text. So when it gets to everything in between this first hash and the next hash uh, would be displayed. So I would type warning and access is prohibited. And all access is are now hash to let the system know that I'm done with typing my message. Now, there you go. Now we are done. And we want to save the running config, WR, that's short, writing to memory. This building configuration, okay, it's done. Now let's do running config. Show running config, show run. It will show all the configuration that we have done. So you see, we changed the host name to core R as we were told, and we created a secret, enable secret. And every command that we typed would be seen here. But you don't see the password because it is encrypted. Enable secret by default is encrypted. And if you go down, you see the username admin was created with the password this, but the password is encrypted because we encrypted all plain text password because of that command. If it wasn't for that, enable password would give us the password itself here, would show us what we typed. IP SSH is version 2. We don't have DNS lookup. IP domain name is natelab.local. What more did we do? Here you will see. There you go. This is the banner that will be shown. Warning: unauthorized access is prohibited. All access are monitored. This will be visible, shown when before you first enter into the privileged exec mode. And here the console was configured. The password is this. You don't see what the password is. Login is required. And VTY, line VTY04 is the same thing. You see right here, SSH is the only one that is allowed. Let's log out from here. And now if we press enter again, now you see the warning. It says unauthorized access is prohibited. All access are monitored. So user access verification. Now this is asking for the enable secret that we used, which is strong, which was given here as uh CISCO. Okay, so what happened is that because this is we're entering into the configuration, the console, and we have to use the console password. It's not going to ask us for anything else, but we have to use the console password to first pass this stage. Then now to enter into the privileged exec mode, we have to, if we try to, it will ask us for the password again, which is the password we used here, which is strong. Now we are in privileged exec mode. Now conf G, we're in exit, then try show run. There you go. We have this. So since we configured the console access to get into this device from this point on, we have to use first the console password, the password that we used when we configured the console, and then it will ask us for this one, for the enable secret password. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to our next lab that we will do together. This configuration establishes secure local and remote access and enforces encryption and follows best practice for managing a core network device. If you find this helpful, come back for more. I'll see you on the next lab that we will do.